Welcome to Conflict in Education. I'm Dr. JWarren, and if you'd like to call me Dr. Warren, that's fine. Dr. Joan is fine. Some of my students just call me Doc. My resume is in the faculty information in Blackboard, and I want to share with you a little bit about my background. I was an assistant professor at Oklahoma State University in Stillwater and taught occupational education. One of the courses that I created was called Educational Futures, and it was the one of two required courses in the new PhD in education for OSU, and I was very proud of that. Courses that I taught at Oklahoma State were contextual learning, the community college, and program planning. My research agenda included and still includes electronic portfolios and authentic assessment. Needless to say, I'm a lifelong learner and enjoy staying on the cutting edge of teaching and learning. Some of my former positions include Director of Academic Affairs for the Kansas Board of Regents, Associate Vice President for a community college in Arizona, but most of my career was spent as a community college administrator and working closely with school districts and with their grants and cooperative initiatives. Our course will consist of readings and discussions from books and refereed journals. I've tried to provide resources that you can access from the Dietz Library. Dr. Hoffmeister tells me that many of you already know the Dietz Library well from your time that you've spent at Southwestern in Winfield during the summer. I also have information posted from the American Association of School Administrators and downloads from noted conflict specialists. Of course, there will be papers due, and I want to encourage you to weave whatever you construct for me into your dissertation. My thought is that almost any review of literature could include something on conflict. If you think about it, there are many forms of conflict. There's conflict from student to student, student to teacher, teacher to teacher, teacher and administrator. Most of the conflict that I've dealt with has been administrator to administrator. But there's also conflict about a person and a system, conflict with a person and a system, not to mention parents. In closing, I will continue to customize this course to fit your interest. Let me know if there's anything you need. And again, welcome to Conflict in Education. Welcome to Conflict in Education. I'm Dr. JWarren, and feel free to call me Joan or Dr. Joan or Dr. Warren. Some of my students actually call me Doc. My resume is on faculty information in Blackboard, and I want to share with you a little bit about my background. I was an assistant professor at Oklahoma State University and taught occupational education in Stillwater. Some of the classes that I taught were face-to-face, some were interactive television, and some were online. One of my best creations at Oklahoma State University was creating the Futures in Education course, which was one of the two required courses for the new PhD in education. I also taught program planning, the community college, and contextual learning. I also teach strategic management for Southwestern in the business department, and that's with a different department called professional studies. Needless to say, I'm a lifelong learner, and I enjoy staying on the cutting edge of teaching and learning. Some of my former positions also include Director of Academic Affairs for the Kansas Board of Regents and serving as an Associate Vice President for a college in Arizona. Most of my career has been spent serving as a community college administrator and working closely with school districts on grants and cooperative initiatives. Our course will consist of readings and discussions from books and refereed journals. I have tried to provide references for you from the Dietz Library because that will be the most easily accessible to you. Dr. Hoffmeister tells me that some of you have already spent a summer on campus and are very familiar with the Dietz Library. Also, the information will come from the American Association of School Administrators, and we have downloads from noted conflict specialists. Of course, there are also papers due, and I want to encourage you to craft these papers so they may fit in your dissertation, because everybody's dissertation in review of lit would have something to do with conflict. If you think about it, there are many forms of conflict. That could be student to student, student to teacher, teacher to teacher, teacher to administrator. What I'm most familiar with is administrator to administrator. Also consists of a person with a system instead of another person. But we did forget about the parents, and there's conflict with parents also. I will continue to customize this course to fit your interest. Let me know if you need anything. And again, welcome to Conflict in Education.